Sorry for the break, so early into the season. I had some family stuff come up. Anyways, this is a hobby for me, so, you know, which is why it's difficult for me to talk about the news that happened before the two games that happened that we need to talk about. Although I guess by the time this is edited and posted, it'll probably be 3. On Thursday, October 16th, the Vegas Golden Knights, one day after he was eligible to be signed to a PTO, Carter Hart. Professional tryout, that semantics. The number that has been expressed on X or Twitter or whatever has been 1.8 million for 2 years, which this signing, I'm going to talk about the person, the stats, the player, and then I'm going to talk about before that, I'm going to talk about like where I was at with this, which I was against it for a couple of reasons. One, I didn't think that they had the 5, the Hockey Canada 5. He's one of the 5 that was accused of sexual assault and in Hockey Canada. The verdict was not guilty, and from when I was following the court proceedings, it seems like that was going to be the case. 2 juries got thrown out. It was just by the judge, who was a female, as many people have pointed out recently, that said, and a lot of the details, look, I read through a lot of it, I followed a lot of it, and I thought that criminally, there wasn't much they could do. I was against it because I don't think the 5 had shown, and granted, this is something that, like, how are they supposed to show, and we actually believe it, had shown the moral integrity that the NHL, when they released a statement about reinstating these 5, had said their conduct went against the moral integrity that is the standard for this league. And let me pull up the exact statement. The events that transpired after the 2018 Hockey Canada Foundation Gala in London, Ontario, prior to these players' arrival in the NHL, were deeply troubling and unacceptable. The league expects everyone connected with the game to conduct themselves with the highest level of moral integrity, and in this case, while found not to have been criminal, the conduct of the players involved certainly did not meet that standard. There needs to be something, right? To show that they have shown that they're willing to commit to that higher standard, and that's where I sat with it. And that there needed to be some sort of display. And there's a couple of other things associated with this. One, the statement that the Vegas Golden Knights put out when this happened wasn't the greatest. They had said, they talked about the character of the team and about how that is something that they're willing to uphold, wanting to uphold and expect out of all their players. And the problem with that is this character, who hasn't shown to show improvement at all, has just been willingly accepted and then praised by Mark Stone, Jack Eichel, Bruce Cassidy, and not Kelly McCrimmon, because he declined to make a statement, which is a coward move on its own. I think he should have made a statement. I think there should have been some sort of press conference. The fact that they put out a statement about signing a player should be indicative of the player that you're signing, whether or not that's a good idea. And I just think that that wasn't good for Vegas to do. There is going to be no amount of work that they could do that would appease some section of NHL fans. And then there's other fans that think that they don't need to do anything, even with the statement that the NHL put out, simply because, according to the judge, on the totality of the evidence, it was EM, not the defendants, who had been the sexual instigator and aggressor. Anyway, there's a lot of details in this, and I don't want to go into all of them, simply because this isn't the space that I want to do this in. But the risk / it wasn't really risk, it was damage to Vegas's reputation, which they really don't care about. Like, that was evident a little bit by them being within the rules in LTIR and other things that have happened, then signing this, which is it's a gray area. And if you don't believe that, then you're not being objective about this. I understand there are both sides to this, and that is what it is, but it's a gray area. Vegas being the team to sign one of the five, the first team to sign one of the 5, just any of the teams that would sign, these players were going to receive a lot of backlash. And I think that given the nature of what had happened, given the statement that the NHL put out and about integrity and character and stuff, that it was going to happen. He used to be a really hot prospect goalie, and he was available and trying to get him in because it's win at all costs. And there was Simbin, Vegas, Ken, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. He did a Periscope on Twitter/X where he talked about his thoughts on this, and I didn't find anything that I disagreed with him on. I would highly suggest checking that out. I will link it in the description. I still don't think this was the right move for Vegas to do, especially because, again, he hasn't played in over a year and a half, almost 2 years. His statistics in Philadelphia weren't great. It was in Philadelphia, who has not been a good team with suspect defense the entire time. The reward for signing this player seems minimal to average with the amount of damage that this does to the reputation of the club. Just not great. I saw this meme post about how it was highly suspected that Edmonton, who also really needs a goalie, would be the team to sign them given everything that they've done to acquire Evander Kane, Corey Perry, and other suspect characters within the league recently for the sake of winning. And Vegas doing it, like, they say it's on brand, but the thing is Carter Hart, which take it however way you want, he said that he and his agent were approached by several clubs. So it really isn't just Vegas. I wish the backlash against Vegas fans wasn't there, because it's not like we had anything to do with this, and a huge portion of the Vegas fan base disagreed with this move as well. It is what it is. There's nothing I can do about the signing. I'm really glad I'm making this video a couple of days later, simply because in the moment, there were a lot of other emotions that came with this, and I'm trying to speak about it level-headedly. For a lot of people, including me, it is going to be a little bit more difficult to cheer for this team with him on the roster, simply because of that character trait, which he was a kid, and people can change and stuff. It's whether or not they actually show that they're able to. I'm going to echo what Ken had said in his Periscope about how since its inception, Vegas has talked about bringing in character guys. And recently, it seems to be less about that, more about winning at all costs. And so Vegas is praised for that in some circles, and have done a really good job of that for the most part. Putting a side character to do it, though, doesn't sit the best with me. But again, I'm a fan. There's not much I can do about it. I still Vegas Golden Knight fan. It was really evident by when I was watching the games after, when they scored 12 goals in 2 games, that I still like the team and I'm cheering for them. And I don't think that this should necessitate canceling season ticket memberships or whatever. But it sucks for a big portion of the fan base, and it's awesome for other portion of the fan base. And I want us to be able to just at least see the other perspective, or if you cannot see the perspective, just acknowledge that it exists and not attack the other side for their viewpoints, because the last thing that we need is a civil war within our own fandom. We already get so much hate from everyone else in the league who simply just doesn't like the Vegas Golden Knights because they're the Vegas Golden Knights, and the amount of success we've had, the ways that we've dispatched of players, even though the timing of which technically worked out for most of them. I'm probably not doing a good job of explaining how I feel right now, but I highly suggest checking out Simbin Vegas' Periscope on this matter. Linking it in the description. It's about 25 minutes, and you can watch it at 1 to 2 times speed or whatever. That really succinctly helped me to come to acceptance with this. And I hope moving forward we're able to see positive character out of Carter Hart.
The Vegas Golden Knights also removed Mark Lazarus' press pass for asking players about this signing like a month ago, and I do think that was in poor taste. I think they should have prepped better, and maybe they did tell Lazarus that he couldn't ask the players about this situation, and he did anyway. But either way, I do feel like the Vegas Golden Knights didn't handle this the best.
I have other thoughts on this that I don't really want to express in video format, but there's not really much else I want to say on this subject, and that sucks. It is what it is, and I really hope more than seeing good goaltending from him, we see good character from this player moving forward. The fact that in the next game against the Boston Bruins, our backup goalie, Akira Schmid, let in 5 goals did not help the confidence that we had in him to be the backup, and really created a little bit more of a goalie controversy for those that were conflicted about this signing. It just wasn't the greatest to throw gas into the fire, right? But this game was a hard right turn, I know, and I'm sorry, I have to do it. This game was a fun one and stressful when you're up 6-3. It shouldn't have had to have been stressful, but the Vegas Golden Knights, Andy, thank you for reminding me. Hold on 1 second. I am so out of practice. The Vegas Golden Knights won 6-5 against the Boston Bruins, and at one point we led 6-3. I need to figure out where to put this now. Yeah, that's good. And despite it being 6-5, I felt like the Vegas Golden Knights had outplayed Boston pretty handedly in this game, but having Akira Schmid in net, and the first couple of goals he allowed, I would not say were his fault at all. Granted, again, this game I wasn't completely dialed in for, so I can't really talk about the feeling of this game other than like it was really refreshing to see Vegas put on this kind of an offensive show, scoring 6 goals, and the way that they did too, with Pavel Dorofeyev continuing his incredible goal scoring pace so far to start the season, playing with Marner and Eichel. Marner had the primary on this, and Marner has been fantastic as well. We're going to get to him a little bit more in the next game, but Cole Reinhardt also gets his first, I believe, but his first with Vegas. His first career goal came with Ottawa last year. I don't know if I talked about us signing him. He's a 6th round pick from 2020, and he's played only like 20 NHL games, and that was his second goal. And it was really cool that he scored because he had been working really hard for this, and like you could tell, he had played well in Vegas' system. That was to tie the game 2-2 just before the end of the first period. A lot of goals happening still to continue, but Vegas jumps out to a 5-3 lead in the second period with goals from Jack Eichel continuing his fantastic MVP level season. Hurdle also got one on the power play because from that bumper slot he's lethal, and then William Karlsson short-handed him and Mark Stone, which usually his shorthanded partner is Riley Smith, but they put Mark Stone out there, and Mark Stone had some fantastic like takeaways and just defensive stick placements as normal. I just really saw them in this game and the game against Calgary. He did get hurt. He winced at something in the Boston game, and then in Calgary also got hurt, and he's day-to-day. I don't know if he's playing tonight, actually. I should check that out. But William Karlsson's first of the year, and he gets his second too in the third period to start off on the power play. Power play goal for William Karlsson. He just kind of drove the net and was left alone. And suspect defense from Boston, but it worked out for William Karlsson, Wild Bill, Dancing Queen, and Vegas is up 6-3. And then 6-4, and then 6-5, but then we hold on to win for the last 15 minutes of that game. Vegas severely outshot Boston. It just outplayed them in a lot of different aspects, except the score sheet. Adin Hill's injury, very limited, very small. He was on the bench backing up, and then played in the next game against Calgary Flames, and played really, really well. Vegas wins again, so I can keep Victory Flamingo on 6-1 against Calgary in just a really complete game, other than the shutout, obviously, within the opening minute. And this is funny timing-wise because Toronto had just lost in overtime to Seattle, who is second in the division right now. Like, hey, a great way to start your season, Seattle. Hats off to you guys for that. That's awesome. Way better than I expected you guys to be. It is only like a week and a half in. But right after that happened, Mitch Marner scores his first goal as a Vegas Golden Knight. And it was a takeaway from Ivan Barbashev right behind the net. He passed it into the slot for Mitch Marner to bury, and it was 1-0 Vegas early. But a couple of minutes later, Calgary on the power play. It's Jonathan Huberdeau who scores just a good shot, and it was on the power play, and it felt like that was coming a little bit. And plus, Huberdeau's like one of the most highest paid players in the league, so of course he's gonna score there. Not at all dipping in production compared to what he's being paid, but after that, Vegas really took over the game. Tomas Hertl gets another power play goal. Mark Stone also scored a goal. His first of the season, set up by Jack Eichel. A beautiful pass for a tap-in for Mark Stone. I'm just ripping through this because this is already going to be a long video. I had a lot to say about the first thing, and then there's going to be 3 maybe games in this. Ivan Barbashev with a tip-in from Korczak. Lauzon's second point of the season, where I don't remember his first for us, but hey, cool. And then Mark Stone gets a power play goal in the third period, his second of the game. Just really clicking on that power play. We are power play merchants for the second year in a row. It's crazy. It's crazy. And we're getting even strength scoring as well right now. And that is something that we are going to be needing when it comes to, I know I'm thinking about April already and it's only October, but that's kind of what it is for the Vegas Golden Knights right now, right? Everything else is just practice for April. And so the Vegas Golden Knights had to handle the Flames. And there was a lot of rough. I think there were 2 or 3 fights in this game. Lauzon, Sissons. I think it was from a hit that Sissons had laid the last game against Calgary like 2-3 games ago, and then just retribution for that. But both of the fights, the 2 earlier fights that Vegas had with Calgary in this game, Vegas kind of lost pretty handily. Like, Lauzon has been a physical force on our team that we don't have a ton of right now, which is crazy to think, but he lost that fight. Like, he barely got anything in. Mark Stone, 4 points, Mitch Marner, 2 goals, Jack Eichel, 4 assists. Just a really fantastic night for those 3. Mark Stone injured. I'm gonna check if he's playing tonight against Carolina. He has officially been placed on IR, and Vegas does not recall the player in his place yet. Man, Mark Stone. I know they changed the LTIR rule, which apparently a lot of people don't know or don't care and make irrelevant jokes now, because even though Vegas didn't have LTIR last season and didn't do it, they literally did it 2 seasons ago for 2 seasons in a row with Mark Stone. Mark Stone just gets injured all the time. He's made of glass, stone. It's just not... Don't throw stones in glass houses. Glass, but I don't know what the deal is. He gets... I wish people would understand that, like, players being injury prone is not an indictment on the organization. Mark Stone is a fantastic player, and we are better with him in the lineup, and when we don't have him, it's not great. We do have Marner and Eichel now, and Marner is a fantastic defensive forward. He was nominated for the Selke, last year, 2 years? I don't know, recently. And so, like, that defensive aspect of Stone's game is expressed in Marner's, but it's different still. And Stone is deceptively defensive, even on the ice. Yeah, no, Vegas is a better team with him in the lineup. We want him in the lineup because if he were in the lineup all the time, he might be a Hart candidate. But, we'll see. I think, didn't Holtz play last game? Holtz came in, Reinhart came out after his first goal with the club. I don't know. So Reinhart probably comes back in for Stone. I have no clue. We still are missing Hannafin, and Hill looked good. He played all of the last game against Calgary, and he played really, really well. He made 26, I don't even know where the 7 came from, saves against the Flames. And for the most part, he made some really good saves. He was out of position a lot, which was not comforting. It was quite stressful watching him play goalie the other night. But is what it is, and Vegas won 6-1. So yay! And yeah, I'll just wait to edit in the Carolina game after this. And I just realized I never changed jerseys for the game between the Bruins and the Flames. It's been a long process. The Vegas Golden Knights, I get to keep this on, win against the Carolina Hurricanes 4-1. And Carolina was the last undefeated team in the league. And so handing them their first loss, at least it came to a good team, that doesn't have their captain, starting goaltender, and one of their top 2 defensemen. Anyway, the Canes are the team that I like the most in the Eastern Conference. So that's, these games are always fun. They follow me on Twitter. I still love that. This game was really tight, despite it being 4-1. Vegas gets away with a little bit of luck. Kind of, not really. I think it was a good non-call. But before, I'm getting ahead of myself. Vegas goes up 1-0. Jack Eichel, a beautiful pass over to Ivan Barbashev, who tips it in. Eichel has been so phenomenal to start the season. Can you tell it's been a couple of hours since I recorded the last part of this video? Just so good. He was the NHL's second start of the week this last week and leads the league in points and just is really having a fantastic October to start the season. Marner is too. He sets up the second goal, which is a pass over to Pavel Dorofeev, who pulls off the Forsberg left-handed shot, which is awkward for me, but he pulls the goalie over to the goalie's right, his left side, tucks the puck back over, tucks it in. It's 2-0 early in this game. And just a fantastic move from Pavel Dorofeev, who's 7th goal of the season in 7 games. He's on track for 82 this season, and the pace has gone down a little bit, but if I think it's sustainable. What am I talking about? Jack Eichel scored that first goal. What am I thinking of? It wasn't Barbashev that tipped it in, it was Keandre Miller, the defenseman for the Canes. So thank you for the assist on Jack Eichel's goal. Although it was a pass from Brendan Saad, who got the call up to play instead of Stone with Barbashev and Eichel, and he played really well tonight in that spot. His best game of the season by far. He had not played well to start the season, and I don't know if it was placement, if it was role, what it was. Holtz played again tonight, and he played with Carlson, and they looked great too. Honestly, they had a lot of good opportunities, but just could not capitalize or finish on any of them. Really solid game from Vegas. The Canes are a tough team. They were undefeated for a reason. They fought back really hard to keep it close. Sebastian Aho scored a goal in the second period. Just a little bit of a trickler that goes underneath Schmid's pads. Akira Schmid, who did not start this game. Adin Hill started this game. 10 minutes in, he did something, pulled something. His leg, his groin, I don't really know. He made a move to try to make a save and just sat there for a while. And did not look good. That immediately throws a huge wrench into our goalie situation, because I was already thinking about this when he got injured against Calgary, and thinking about, this is not good, because who we're gonna call up Carl Lindbaum. But here's the thing: if we start Carl Lindbaum every 10 minutes or so, 10-minute first period, and switch to Akira Schmid for the rest of the game. Akira Schmid is a Vezina caliber goalie when he is replacing the starter in relief. Talked about how he didn't have a great game against Boston, and that was true. He started that game, but in relief, there's this graphic that ESPN put up after Vegas's win against Calgary, where this does include the playoffs, and it's a very limited sample size. But now I think it's 15. It's the NHL Network. It's 15 appearances with he's only allowed 5 goals. That's like a 970, 60 something save percentage right now. It's insane how good he is in relief, and he played phenomenally from the moment he entered the game. He enters cold, and he plays like George Vezina himself. And if we're able to replicate that in practice by just playing, not getting injured every game, please, no, we don't have that many goalies. Although maybe then that would mean I could suit up for the Vegas Golden Knights eventually, because they'll just call anyone in from the stands. Jesse Granger, yeah, in all seriousness, I don't know how to be serious about that. That's a ridiculous stat.
And I was thinking when they pulled an empty netter because Vegas was up 3-1 after Barbashev, who's forechecking, he gets a stick on Calgary Miller, who did not have a good game, and that's a big defensive assignment for Carolina. They're injured. Gostisbehere, they lost Burns, which over the offseason, the 2 puck-moving defensemen that they have. And Keandre Miller is supposed to be a little bit of that, but he had a rough game tonight. Barbashev gets stick on stick. It could have technically been a slash, but it would have been ticky-tack. It would have been a soft call. I've seen things that were less bad than that get called tonight in that game. So I don't know, but I in my opinion, which is biased, it was a good call, good non-call, because he taps the stick and then Miller's skate just goes out from underneath him. Like, I don't understand. It wasn't with that much force. It really bad break for Canes fans, Keandre Miller, but fantastic break for Barbashev, who takes the puck after Miller blows a tire, essentially, and rifles it past Freddie Anderson to make it 3-1. And then with the empty net pulled, Vegas does really well off the draw, and Wild Bill's able to bury it. I believe it was from Saad. Marner getting another primary assist. He got 2 points tonight. That's crazy. To make it 4-1, and Vegas wins 4-1 in a really solid game. Our defense is suspect. Our goaltending also suspect if we're going to not have Adin Hill for an extended period of time. I don't know how good Carl Lindblom is going to be in the NHL. He hasn't had any NHL experience yet. And our goalie pipeline isn't the strongest right now. Controversy. Anyway, Vegas is probably going to look at making upgrades on defense. If I was Kelly McCrimmon, that's probably what I'd do. Although, like, Hannafin coming back will be a huge upgrade. We were out without Stone, who's a defensive help, despite being a winger. I'm talking about defense and goaltending. We won 4-1, and we're going to take that. Our next game is, this has already been too long of a video, and I'm sorry for that. Although, hey, content. Hey, if you like, and you're still here, me rambling about hockey, Golden Knights, whatever, being respectful about situations that are hard to talk about, hit like and subscribe for me. It would really help me out. It's free for you guys, and it's a win-win. Yay! But our next game, we have a little bit of a break, and it's an earlier game. Saturday, against the Florida Panthers, who are not having a great start to their season. So our next game is Saturday. Gives me a little bit of a break. The hockey team that I work for is starting back up again this week, so that's fun. 6 p.m. Eastern, so 3 p.m. Pacific. It's in Florida, and my kids are going to be able to watch it. Yes, I take those every day of the week. But that's really it. Everything that I wanted to say about this, and it was a lot. Thank you so much for watching Games 5, 6, and 7's nightly review and the other stuff. Genuinely, have a good night. I'm genuine all the other times I say it too, but I felt like...